What up, though? You already know how it go. Make sure you smash, like, subscribe, comment. I don't care what you comment, as long as you comment. Let's make sure you can see me. Let's make sure you see me. I don't care what you comment, as long as you comment, you dig? Like I say in every other video, if you ain't pressing the like button, you ain't comment, you damn near stealing from me right now. Dropping y'all this heat. It's truthful. Paperwork on deck. Ain't too many people to YouTube to do what I do. Got the paperwork to support what they say. They ain't got it. I have it. I came down with 9 months on the year, did 4. Maxed out from a level 5 facility when I started out at level 1. You just read the comments of all the boys that was incarcerated with me in those dismal crypts, like the mobiles used to say, in these dismal crypts, the modern day plantation. I was there. I experienced it all. I seen the ills of man like no other. I seen the true ills of man. Up close and personal. Live with it. Live with it. Live with a man that think it's okay to hit you up for a noodle. And I ain't gonna lie, I participated in some of those crazy activities too. Over pride and ego. But I felt like that was the right thing at the time. But in hindsight, I could have did a lot better. Ego, like Jesus said, if you're Christian, it's the quickest way to hell. It's the quickest way to starvation. Ego. Pride. It's the quickest way. You dig what I'm talking about? Shout out Miss Cope. I'm about to put up the message that she's left right here. Miss Cope got in contact with me. I said I was going to look her up. Couldn't find her, but her last name changed. Shout out to her. She got married, I guess. Right? Last name changed. Whoever her husband is, I know he's strong because that's not no woman that you could push over. It's not no woman with low self-esteem. Educated, gorgeous woman, beautiful person, inside and out, man. I want to get y'all facts. I love it. I got some stuff off Instagram coming on the next video too. I'm gonna go look it up. How a guy hit me up. He said, man, I hollered at my boy from Monroe that was up there at level 5 with you. You dig what I'm talking about? Rod Ward. Shout out. We call him the Weekend. Shout out him. Y'all validate my stories. Like y'all really. And I love it though, because I'm glad I don't cap, because I could tell the same story over and over and over and over the same way as y'all don't see it, man. So I appreciate y'all. But let's get to this video, man. This kind of deep, man. This not really deep. I don't know. If y'all watch me for a long time, y'all know my dislike for sex offenders, people who abuse children, people who rape women, people who take advantage of the weak. I don't like them like that, right? But one person that was a sex offender, one person that was abused kids, abused his siblings, and so on and so forth, I really felt sorry for this guy. I really felt bad for him. I never heard a story like this. I don't even think he was supposed to be in our unit doing therapy with us, because we were in a violent, chronic offenders, regular type of robbery, murder, card. We was in that type of unit. He was in sex offender unit. And he had got caught in the freezer, like I told y'all, with a guy, Armand, doing intimate stuff. His name was Corey K. I don't know his real last name, or it might have been K or whatever it was, but I'm pretty sure, since this has been spreading like wildfire, people been getting in touch with me, so on and so forth, I'm pretty sure you'll figure out that guy's name. So we was in Saginaw Correctional Facility, Juvenile. Saginaw Juvenile Correctional Facility. We was there. He came over to our unit because he got kicked out of his. He was over there for a while, and he started doing group with us. I don't know if he was supposed to be doing group with us. Group with us is therapy. You disclose your case, you disclose what you've been through, your thinking thoughts, so on and so forth. You're supposed to receive this so-called therapy, right? He told his story. Corey K, let me describe Corey K. Corey K was a white man from the White Cloud area, country somewhere, or, ducked off by White Cloud, which was by Grand Rapids, which is by whatever. Corey K was, I believe, 16 when I met him, and I was 17. We had a group session one day, He told his life story. Corey K was doped up on so much medication. Like I said, he used to sit and drool on himself. You see all the white spots on his shirt. Corey K used to walk around because they gave us shorts there. You had to wear a black shirt and shorts. You could wear pants, I think, going to like chow or going out to like court, but you couldn't wear pants all the time. It had to be the shorts and a black shirt. So Corey K used to have on these tight shorts. Pause, you know. He used to always have a hard on, like always had a hard on. When you looked in his room, it was the white floor by the bed. When, gotta watch your words on YouTube if you want to be monetized, but there's no other way I can say it. When you reach your arousal point, you splurt out whatever you is. He was only over there like 3 days. The whole side of his bed was caked up on the floor with yellow reaching your climax stuff. So that means that boy had to be going. He was on what, 4 or 5 days. So he had to be going to fill the whole floor up. He had to be going 4 or 5 times a day. Easy 4 or 5 times a day. He was a victim of sexual abuse. And like I said, it's the only sex offender I ever felt sorry for. Him and maybe Dwight. I told you a story about Don Bosco Hall, how the 2 boys came in there and got down on him and asked me to step out the room, and I didn't know what happened, like I was ignorant. But this stuff was going on in Juvenile. People who've been sexually abused usually, well, we're not going to say usually. Just because you've been sexually abused don't mean that you would abuse somebody else. But it's a high likelihood, I believe, that you would, because I've seen it. Hurt people. Right? I read enough stories. I've seen, you know, I do the true crime, the predators. They've been abused. They had a bad childhood. So I get it. But I don't feel like it's still a choice. But some urges and habits are just so unresistible to people with low self-control. They got to act out on them. And the more I look at it, the more I look at the science behind it, I feel bad for some of them people. Corey K was the individual that I look back on, I felt bad about. So anyway, we was in group therapy session, big circle, counselor there. Mr. McKenzie, that was his name, a white guy. So, you know, he went into depth asking Corey K, what you in here for? What was your thinking errors? What was so on and so forth? Where did abuse start at? So on and so forth. Like I said, Corey K was about 16. His abuse started when he was about 7 years old by his stepfather. And he had like 2 or 3 other sisters. And this story right here gonna be so sick. So sick. Like I damn near want to tear up over it because it's just some horrible stuff that happened to a kid. You dig what I'm talking about? It's just, you know, this shouldn't happen to nobody. Mr. McKenzie asked him, what are you in here for? He said, 2 counts of CSC. Who was the victims? My sister. CSC is criminal sexual conduct. I said, my sisters. Oh, excuse me. He had 2 sisters and a brother or 2. Yeah, something like that. Like, you know, I got 3 counts, 2 against my sister, 1 against one of my brothers. And Mr. McKenzie said, okay, you're here for CSC. What was your childhood like? He said from the age that he can remember, around 6 or 7, that his stepfather, which is a parent to one of his sisters and one of his brothers or something like that. He said, from the earliest age I can remember, my father used to beat me at first. Around the age of 8 or 9, that's when he, you know, him and my mother like got on super bad terms. But his mother was real passive. She used to turn a blind eye to stuff. He had said that his father started touching him, you know, and then that eventually led to, you know, penetration of him and his sisters. So at the time, he's, I guess, 8 or 9, sisters like 7 and 10, and his brother is like 9. Used to call him in the room, put his mama out, or when his mama was out drinking all night, he would bring him in the room, choke him till he pass out, and he would wake up feeling like not normal, if you get what I'm talking about. And then it progressively turned into just an everyday habit when his mother wasn't there, or when his mother was just drunk on the couch sleep, or so on and so forth. He told his mother multiple times what was going on. His sisters told him. His sisters enticed him to tell his mother, and his mother said, no, it's not going on. Y'all making that up. You know what I'm talking about? So, like I said, it got progressively worse. 11, 12 years old. And Corey K is a little off, but he's smart. He knew math. He knew, but just articulating himself or just walking around, he was so doped up. It was just like weird. And he would just have random outbursts. And then, one of I think her name was Miss Simpson. She would send him in this room, and he would just be in there rolling himself. If y'all know what if you watch the videos, you know what rolling mean. He was just in there doing that. All his conversations was about sex and women and men and stuff like that. And he would just do these random outbursts. And, some staff that was new, they would ask him, like, why you walking around with a heart on all day? Homie, you in here around all men. But they didn't understand what he been through. He see you or he see other men or whatever going on in his head. He aroused by it. He was the first guy seen in group talking about how he molested his sisters and stuff like that. Like, he got up with a heart, no, he didn't get up. He was sitting in his chair and he just started humping the air. No, actually, this was the second time I seen this. One was in Calumet, one was at Wolverine, but his was extreme that he had to stop group, go in the room, and just do things. Like, he was so messed up. Like, when you go in the bathroom, the staff got to come sit a chair by the bathroom, make sure you're in there hurting yourself or hurting nobody else or whatever. I don't know what the reason was behind it, besides not hurting yourself. You used to get a shower a day, and you get to go in the bathroom, use it whenever you want to, but you only got 10 minutes, 7 minutes, 8 minutes, whatever the case, whatever it was. After shower, he would get 3 15-minute periods to go in the bathroom and arouse himself and get it off so he wouldn't act out aggressively. He was that messed up. He would go in the bathroom and people had to use the bathroom. They used to argue, man, get your retarded out of here, man. Come on, dog. Come on, man. Here and there rolling himself because whatever made him aroused or whatever happened, it just is what it is. But let me talk about the story a little bit more. He said his father used to make him and his sisters and brothers go around and find condoms filled with what's the name and consume it. Some of his sisters, sometimes when they used to refuse, they used to be so hungry, they used to eat plaster off the wall. He would give them one box of cereal for 2 or 3 days to split between the 2 sisters and the brothers because they wasn't conforming. And they used to always go tell their mom. She used to bring it up like, they keep saying this, but I don't believe it, so on and so forth. It was like, I'm like, damn. He was just explaining all this stuff. And as he was explaining, he going into a trance. And one of the group therapists that was there at the time, they was like, you can go in the bathroom, bro, if you need to. And then come back. He used to go in the bathroom, roll himself, come back. Talk about it a little bit more, go in the bathroom, roll himself. Go in the bathroom, roll himself. Like, damn. Abuse can really mess a child up, man. And saying that stuff, bro, it mess with you. Like, you just feel, a kid out here, it's a kid out here going through that to this day. And you just feel so bad about it. You feel like you want to do something about it. You feel like you want to rescue them all, but you can't. I had to make myself realize that, like, damn, I'm not a superhero. I'm not a guy that, so on and so forth. I remember I made a video and said, anybody this victimized, you can hit me up and whatever we got to do, whether we got to go to the police, whether we got to confront this person, whatever we got to do, we do it. And people actually hit me up, which I'm glad. But I found myself about to put myself in situations where I'm going to go to prison. The judge might have some sympathy on me. He might not give me 20 years because he, feel bad, but he give me 10 or 15, and that ain't worth losing your life, man. But it got to be something done about this type of abuse to children. Like, it's no way these guys should be getting out quicker than a drug dealer, man. Comonil, Perry Comonil did like 20, 25 years for his first drug offense. But yet you got a guy like Ronald Lloyd Bailey, who all his childhood, at 9 years old, he put a boy at knife point and did what he did. And then did it again, then did it again, then did it again, and then finally get locked up. You know what I'm saying? Then you got other guys that did it 3, 4 times, 2 years, 5 years, 8 years. Then they get a 20-piece, get out, then they finally get a life sentence, but a parolable life sentence. People don't change their sexual preference. It's like me waking up one day and say, hey, you know, I don't like women with pretty feet. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't like it no more. I don't like women no more. You know what? It's over with. All the women are done. Or it's like you waking up saying, I like this type of man. Tall, dark, handsome. Then you just like pale. The next day. It's hard to change your preference. But that was one of the saddest stories I ever seen, and one of the most uncontrollable individuals I ever seen. It was him, and it was my man's Tobias. And God, like I said, God rest his soul. He must have been through something that made him that way. Because he was doing stuff people in prison was doing. 20, 30 years in he was doing that as a juvenile. Sad. I hope Corey Kane reoffend. I hope he's still alive. I hope he's doing well. Anybody got contact with him, put him towards me. You dig what I'm talking about? But yeah, it was just, it like, send that unit there for sex crimes. Them boys was all like weirdos, like super weird, super, you know, big, stupid serial killer Jeffrey Dahmer glasses. They was like just weird individuals. And like I said, that's the one story that made me tear. I can go into more and more detail what he used to do to his sisters, but this YouTube, we can't. Like, you know, one of his sisters can't even have kids again because he lost it. He used to get off on strangling them till they pass out and then they wake back up and to wonder why they felt the way they felt. He used to get off on that and laugh about it. Sick individual. And I don't even think he went to prison for it. Corey K, I don't even think he was mentally capable of lying about something like that. Documented his abuse, documented his stitches, documented his hospital visits, documented him catching diseases. To all the women out there and people, watch your kids around watch who you bring around your kids. I tell every woman, you better get a dude first and last name and look him up and make sure he ain't, and that don't even mean nothing. Watch your kids and make sure you teach them that they could come and tell you anything, no matter if a person threatened them or not, that you got their back. I tell my daughter that all the time. If anything ever weird, you better tell me. Because I'm going to be mad if you don't. And I'm never going to question you if you say this happened. I'm not going to question you. If your mama brings somebody around, because my baby mama just a piece of, right? If she bring anybody around that violate you in any type of way, you better let your papa know. Because I'm going to be mad at you if you don't. And I'm never going to question you or call you a liar. I ain't going to do none of that. You let me know. Let me know. We going to do something about it. And I hope that day don't ever come, because I won't be here free at all. And I'm not going back to the penitentiary for 20, 30 years either. I'm not doing that either. Never. I could never do it. I've been there. I know how I feel. I could never wake up for 20 years and do the same thing over and over again. I could never be at a place where a dude will stab you over a noodle. I could never be at a place where, you know, somebody get their manhood questioned and forced upon and people look the other way. I never want to be around them individuals again. And I'm mad I even embraced some of them and looked and turned the blind eye. That's somewhere I never want to be again. Peace and blessings be upon y'all. Big 5, man.